Good morning, everyone. It's Friday, September 27, 2024, step 5 day. It's a Gemini day, I think. So I'm excited to explore a lot of different perspectives today, looking at things from different angles, different perspectives, so I can see and expand my consciousness overall. How's your day? How was your day yesterday? It was a very emotional live when I did it. Good morning. And yeah, I've been exploring and just, loving myself through all this process. And because I needed a lot of guidance, I literally like pray for assistance and guidance. Like, give me the thought that helped me find inner peace through all of this. And so I spent a lot of time meditating yesterday and doing lots of things. And the weather was pouring rain, but today is nicer. It's cloudy and it's beautiful. Not cloudy, it's sunny, it's beautiful. And so that lifts up my moods right there. Yes, from Saskatchewan. Good morning. Hi, Lee. Hi, everyone. Hi, Irene. Hi, Nadine Yans. So, yeah, I'm excited to explore more possibilities. And I think when it's so funny when I need it the most, and things do happen at a right timing always. And I've been waiting for the pep talk recording from Sears Joyce, so I could find the peace of mind, and somehow it turned out the recording was vanished somehow, disappeared completely. So Sears Joyce and St. Christopher needed to re-record the same thing. And then what he emphasized was he noticed, he talks about, yes, happy day to you, yes. He noticed about being a people pleaser and, inner child's not happy. And, you just thought that we've been working so hard to love ourselves and love ourselves more. Happy day. But notice that you were not on that right side of our heart. And I think that was what it is. Like, I tend to, go out and emit the love because I love, but I'm learning to shower myself with love first. But at the same time, you can't control what people think, or you can't control what other people are doing, right? But then every time I see the reflection of me, of them, and then it triggers a certain emotions, right? So, and then here comes my ego, try to push the agenda. This is gotta be it, this or else, right? And then it's kind of just like break the flow that was there. But I know that is, oh, and then another thing I learned is you can finally break the cycle if you take the lesson and knowledge from the event rather than the pain. So you can choose to receive the knowledge but not the pain. And that's when you do that, then you break the cycle. So I keep telling myself, okay, I don't have to feel bad about things, and we're moving forward with this, but let the emotions come out if they need to. And every day is a lesson to learn, right? So yeah, that's here I am. Today is the step 5 of Libra, so it's been 5 days. And I know that from step 0, the first day of Libra, to the step 9, so every day we go through the step number, we are learning relationship to ourselves and what we call a me marriage, like marriage to yourself. And because at the end of it, we are shown this illusion, and it's very hard to see that as an illusion, but everything is a reflection of us. And Matrix tried to show us, like Matrix is like, okay, set the intention, I will bring it to you. But at the same time, I love what the recording said from Sears Joy yesterday, and that kind of hit me hard. Was he said that we're slowly coming out of that matrix. We create our own matrix too, but at the same time, rise above it, right? So it's kind of like we're coming to a point where you detach yourself from matrix instead of let the matrix kind of make things happen. We always say laws of attraction, set the intention and let things to come to you. And like you don't have to think about how, right? You just have to set the intention and surrender. I think there's a lot of truth in that. At the same time, I think it will slowly come into this paradigm shift of, it's kind of like when I set the intention, things come. So in a sense, we probably accelerating that the journey and the manifestation. But at the same time, I think I'm definitely in the phase of surrender and surrendering, because life is all about, I've been talking about push and pull, but balance of push and pull. There's a time that you feel like you've been pushing, but it's like water, right? Again, if things are not working by pushing, then you have to pull yourself out and surrender. And as in that surrendering state, there's nothing you can really do but rest and trust, right? So, and then, oh, interesting. The card that I picked for today, I'm going to go with the card already. Keep your thoughts positive. So, yeah, so in that state of surrender, and it's kind of like, hiatus, but things are moving. And can you keep your thoughts positive? And I was like, yesterday, I was thinking about infinity sign, like constantly like this. It's the perfect flow. And I'm also thinking about Taurus field. And you can also let that energy flow like this, or let that energy flow like this. We're in a donut, right? And then so this one actually have that embodiment of the field. So right now alpha is up, so it goes like this. And it helped me ground and it helped me meditate. I can flip it and it make the omega on top, then energy goes shoot up like this. And this is a one from Gisela, who works with Human Garage. And over the years, it just became my best friend. I take this with me all the time. And it's just like, when I have, I used to see lots of energy healers. And whenever I'm in a difficult state, I used to ask for advice. And those things would really help me. But I'm at the point where, this is a crystal quartz, but she has this special technique that this one has, all of her crystal actually has the energy of Taurus field, the donuts. So it's just bring you back to alignment, and that's what it does. And the crystal quartz, and it has the omega and alpha state. So, so I was thinking about this Taurus field and infinity, and but this morning I thought about, okay, so I need to create this instead of like try to evolve and bring everyone around that the energy field. Everyone has their own energy, so it's really noticing the truth about there are millions of perspective, and then we're constantly choosing, and it's all up to us, but we know that. But at the same time, it's kind of like, okay, in order for us to bring the ideal outcome, it's really about tapping into our heart and to be on the right side of our heart. Because there was a time that you set this intention to bring this reality that right now, that's why things are moving, right? So then, but you could change it the way you want, but you do need to surrender. It's so beautiful. I love mine. I sleep with it too. Very grounding. Oh, I love that. I love that, Yuli. You got it. Yeah. So this one is, obviously it's a bit more expensive than the normal power stones or the smaller stone, because of that size, and it's the one. You can use it for energy work, but very, very transformative. It's one of those things like Harry Potter. If the witch is ready, these things will be given, that kind of thing. But it's nothing crazy. It's just that it's really help you differentiate your energy from other people's energy. We're all learning that we're not responsible for other people's emotions, but I acknowledge that I also have a tendency of, playing a victim in some areas, right? It's like, why did you do that to me, kind of thing. But at the end of it, always remember there's only one person in the world, which is me. and everything else is here to support me in the way that I decide. And so what I need to do is really, really coming back to my heart. And we are in this beautiful Libra season. So I'm excited to use this dance. Instead of going up this way, it's like literally come, I'm ready to receive, I'm ready to receive, and come back to heart, because all the imbalances that seems to be happening right now around us is a reflection of me imbalanced, right? So there's nothing to control, and come back to heart. It's like, this is where you can be kind of solid, like this is the truth. If somebody show me something different and to show me different perspective, but it's like, no, the heart is the answer. And sometimes it's hard to differentiate the voice from our feelings and our heart. And then I used to say, I sometimes say intuition comes from outside, but you can also say that intuition comes from the heart, right? So the voice from the heart is the absolute truth, but the voices from our feelings is the mixture of our old story, wounded self, and the new self, right? It could be both, or you're picking up with somebody. So that's why it takes practice. That's why it takes discernment and all of that. And I'm also love to talk about some inner child stuff today. So if you guys have any, any rituals that, taking care of your inner child every day. I think my inner child is pretty simple. She likes to have fun. She likes to feel love, and she likes to love. But those simple things need to be fulfilled like every single day. Otherwise, she gets wounded and then she's played victims. And it's like, okay, there's a time that you didn't do this, all that, but doesn't matter what other people are doing. It's like, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you. But so think about loving yourself and satisfying your inner child, and be on the right side of your heart. But then we all know that it's very important to love yourself. But how can I love myself and be on the right side of my heart? Because there's a part of you that is giving away your power, right? We all have that by being a people pleaser. And that is when our love started to leak out, I feel. And that is not how law of attraction works. I think it's like, whenever you feel that your love is leaking, you need to take back your power. And it's just like, own that. It's like, okay, I belong, feeling like a queen, nothing else. So we're definitely shifting in and out of focus with the different timelines right now. So that's why it's very important to stay in love. So let's read our message today. Woo. Today's step 5, I think, is a ruling state of awareness, pulling you into a pensive, detached, somewhat spacey mood. The combination of step 5 and the I receive Libra energy makes your mind open to many topics, perhaps all at once. So infinite possibilities and storylines and perspective. It's easy to get carried away with any idea or find yourself obsessing back and forth with the same thought. That happens a lot for me. You may want to set out with a plan to think about. Otherwise, you could end up talking and thinking much ado about nothing. You may want to set up with a plan. The hot topic behind your thoughts is your relationship to yourself. Over the last 4 days, you may have been disrupted or perturbed about aspects of your relationship to yourself. The way you treat yourself may have proven to be negative, unhealthy, or ineffective at bringing the best out of yourself. For me, it was not negative, but it's definitely a little bit unhealthy, because I was overpouring and leaking my love. And today, your mind will identify the point of view you take with yourself that is no longer working to your advantage. Specifically, you will uncover a mental attitude, assumption, or judgment you hold of yourself that inevitably defines your marriage relationship to yourself. So nothing is perfect, no relationship is perfect, and whatever that you are going through, and we go through good phases and not so good phases and go through that. But I think when you go through phases, what you need to really think about is what is really important here, like um, to keep the relationship or stay in your love, right? And of course, you want to keep both or you want to stay in love. But yeah, here comes a lesson, we're all learning. Um, yeah, you may also uncover an attitude, judgment, or even slanders to yourself that come from your thoughts about yourself. The way you think of yourself, speak to yourself, and respond to your own thoughts may have an attitude or prejudice behind your words. Yeah, definitely, I agree with that. The way you think of yourself, think, speak to yourself, and respond to your own thoughts may have an attitude and or prejudice behind your words. I definitely feel that I'm better at not talking bad about myself from my past mistakes, because I realized that I really, really, really started to think that we are all doing best we can every moment. Everyone is doing their best they can, whether they make a mistake through it or not. And that is the absolute truth. That was the best they could do, and then I could do at the moment. And you can't change that. It is what it is, right? And it's just that best was not really in my favor, or best is not really my best. But so I think it's this idea can really liberate us from judging our past mistake. Oh, should have done this, should have done that. So I'm not wasting my time going back and forth with that past mistakes again. It has happened. It happened. It had to happen in a way that had to happen somehow. And so really, this is where my growth is, like really accepting and acknowledging what has happened and be okay with it. And now what, right? So that these thoughts and words may be a habit you have practiced for years at a time. You may have adopted the language or judgment from parents, society, or influential figures in your life. It's common to take on another person's opinions of ourselves in order to please someone else. When you discover yourself in a negative mental cycle, don't judge yourself for it. That makes it worse. Instead, adopt an alternative logic or point of view. Yeah, so different any thought that's put yourself down just needs to go. You don't have to engage it, right? In each of your stories today, pay attention to your thoughts and attitude about yourself in that area of your life. See if you can improve the language or logic. Yeah, how you talk to yourself, that's an art. That's an art. Art of connecting with yourself, art of speaking to yourself, the art of how you think about yourself. Your mind is analyzing what action and behavior to discontinue with yourself. So let's think about that for a second. What action and behavior are we going to stop? So one thing I can think of is definitely I'm going to stop regretting my past and thinking about what I could have done better, or anything like that, because it happened. And if I really shift the timeline, you can even shift the past. So the longer you dwell on it, the longer it persists, right? So that part, I feel I have, I grew up in that, grow out of it. Now behavior, I think I still, recovering people pleaser, the reaction of other people really trigger me in some way, especially with someone that is closer or means a lot, right? And I think that's very, very natural, right? But I think we're being shown. It doesn't matter what people are doing. It's about us, and what we are being shown is what exactly we need to work on. It's not about the situation that we're working on. It's not about the exact person or topic. It's really about the energy that we're working through. So that's a paradigm shift, right? So yeah, So you are identifying the best mental approach to take with your ego and defenses moving forward. Make certain your heart believes in the new ideas that you feel them to be true. So yeah, that's it. Listen to your heart is sometimes important. Like you thought that, I sometimes clearly know when my heart feels something, and it's like my heart opens up, right? But then it's like, okay, I started to question myself. Am I really listening to my heart? Because I feel like I was not on that right side of my heart. And so I was questioning this morning. And it's like, what do you feel like to feel heart and listen to my right voice? Right this second. Can you say something about what shifting a timeline means? An example, please? So, have you ever felt like in your life that you remember some memory as something, and somehow you remember like this happened, but it's for some people, no, you did this, and so the consequences or action, what actually happened, is different from what I remember from what people remember about the event. So for example, um, my one of my dance friends told me, it's like, oh, you used to go to this old studio and you taught a couple times a dance class. I don't remember. Like, I don't know. It's like, it's like, we can forget these things, but sometimes like that reality is a bit shifted and people remember. So for example, other example would be, I teach fascial maneuvers class, and a big shift, energy shift happened astrologically in myself, and I feeling a shift, and I feel like, okay, I'm adjusting to a new body, and the people show up to my class is completely different. It's like the brand new people, and a couple regulars, but it's kind of like a whole turnover, if that makes any sense. And so I think it's depend. We are, we're a vibrational being, and depending on where we are, we attract the people. Keep attracting the people, and then right people that connect and sync, they're always going to be here. And then if it's a class that I teach, for example, those people will continue to come back. So like Lee, you're one of it. So I really appreciate that. But I'm not saying that, you got to stay or anything like that. It's just that I think we are, by the law of attraction, we're attracting people who are like-minded, and whatever I say resonate with them. And so you just, like it's like the mutual balance and the flow. So that's why sometimes people come and go, and some people are temporary, some people are permanent. But at the same time, you can set the intention that right people will stay, but you can set the intention that maybe the specific person or organization or company that you work for will stay for a very long time. But at the same time, there's nothing really we can control, you know what I mean? And but right things will always come back. Another example is the studio I used to teach. I decided to leave last year, so before the season end. And then it's like, okay, what am I going to do? Am I focus on the fashion universe? I still want to do some type of dance program. And then so things happen in that studio. The owner just didn't do well with finance, and the studio did not exist at the beginning of September. And then something in me probably knew, something was bound to happen. Maybe that was, maybe I listened to intuition. There's something about me, like I gotta leave, right? And then once, like, shift hit the fan, and things did change. But I think that whatever happens, somehow you can't cut the real connection. The real connection, if you're meant to be, you're gonna be. So what happened was I left the studio, but the studio kind of collapsed. And then the people who are parents wanted to continue. Like, okay, well, we want to continue dancing. And so they ended up somehow working out with the landlord and signed a new release at the same location. And then I'm back in the studio because they asked me back. So I think that's crazy. That's a huge paradigm shift. Things are moving. It's like, yeah. So if something like that happened, and you just know that you just shifted the timeline, you know, and you just, when you're in a place where you feel hurt, and it's like you can't see the way out, and the only way to go out is to just stop what you're doing and then just, escape, and like escape in the mountain or something. But it's really about us and inner peace. I mean, I always say this every life, but inner peace is happens when everything fall into place. But we think that we can find love and peace when everything falls into place, but that's the other way around. Everything will fall into place if we come back to our love. So again, with the Taurus field, it's like this. It's like this around the heart, and it's like this entire body. Oh, and then one thing that I wanted to share was Ra of Earth, who's like speaker for Human Garage, and he was mentioning, and I thought it was a very interesting technique that I'm going to use. He's very intuitive, right? He is, I think, he's like, and he's also Libra as like me, but he's very good at receiving. And he was talking about sometimes like he questioned himself, like, is it okay for me to like completely be open and receive? Like, I feel like all the opportunities are here and it's amazing, and it's like, do I, like, what's happening, But of course the answer was, you deserve it, you have the right. But I kind of got envious of like hearing him speak. It's like, wow, like things are like happening, and I don't even know how to, like manage it, kind of thing. Not control, but it's like he's so good at receiving. That's what I want to say. And one of the techniques that he uses is whenever, when the energy comes, a person, and then you can kind of like have a sensor, right? And then if you notice that with someone trying to manipulate you, there's the energy shift in us, right? So I think it's like very important. Wake up in the morning, notice where you are, notice your energy for the day in the morning, right? And then if you woke up feeling like today, I woke up feeling much like my back of my neck was so much in tension, and I had to move a little bit. That's why a little bit late on the live. But just noticing and establish that golden light. Put yourself in a big bubble. There's so many techniques that you can use in, Taurus field. I like to do this, especially in the heart. And also, I used to do like gold alchemy technique, which is like basically, everything I touch turns into gold. Superpower. So put yourself in a gold pyramid and push all space, time, and all dimensions, and it just clear with the intention of power. And know that you are always protected in this gold pyramid. You can just, like, believe it or not, I think everything has a consciousness. And whether you believe it or not, as soon as you just like start to live with intention and consciousness, I think that's create the reality. So whether that's a pyramid, heart, you set that. And so going back to Ra's talk, whenever Ra feeling like someone is trying to manipulate and against your heart, he creates like, okay, he will tap into where he feels in the body. So for me today, it's like I'm feeling in the neck, right? So create the Taurus field. So if you guys are very new to, I also there's a different name for it, right? Torah. I can't even, if you want to look it up, it's the energy. I can also look it up on the app, but Taurus field. And so it has the constant flow and the donuts, and that's the alignment. It's the constant flow. So this is the truth. And so what he does is going to the area of being he thinks that manipulate, toroidal field, exactly. Thank you. Toroidal field, I need to practice. And so create this like the, I don't know, it could be anything, right? Like a spiral out, and then like taking out all this cord out. There's so many techniques you can use. It's like I used to do this sometime, just like create getting all the cords from other people, and it's like squash it and then throw it away. So I think it's that consciousness of like transmuting the energy and finding, as he does that with the intention, he probably practiced it many times, creating that Taurus field, and creating, as he does it, creating the harmony within, so that you can protect yourself. You have your boundaries, but you can also respond with love, instead of, some healers will say like create a gold shield and you repel it, right? Because I don't really believe in that, because that's why, like, I've done some witchy technique. I don't consider myself a witch. I'm more like a goddess, or queen. Anyways, there's nothing to, because it's like everyone is a reflection of your own world, and it's the harmony that we need to create. When you have the harmony, instead of like, okay, evil, repel it out, it's like, okay, it's kind of like being fluid adaptive. Okay, you feel it, you're being, you have the sensation, right? But then this is where the power is. So it's like when you feel censored, when you censor something, and it's like, okay, this is kind of negative, it doesn't belong to me, and it's kind of like started to create this like toroidal field, or a tornado. And it goes like that, and then until you feel like you find a good harmony, and just let it go, let it resolve. And I think that's very powerful. It's just very peaceful. And Rai is, when you meet him, he's a very peaceful person. He's not loud, he's just have a very strong presence. Yeah, so I think we all have our own colors and flavor, how you show up to the world, your average frequency. But it's beautiful to learn from other people like that. Yeah. And hi everyone. So so your mind is analyzing what action and behavior to discontinue with yourself. So today I feel like I really want to embody this call in energy, surrender, call in energy, and creating the harmony around inside of me first, so that outside is a reflection of my inner peace. And I've been telling this, but I think for me to really embody that is to just surrender. Some days we need to surrender extra. Right? I feel like I am experiencing that. I tend to go, I'm a very push person in a sense. Even though I'm a Libra is always like this, right? Because I have a lot of Capricorn, and I'm very committed. So I live my life like that for a very long time, especially on the area of what I want. But here comes my paradigm shift and timeline shift. I don't need to be this to attract anymore. I don't want to live like this. It's just so exhausting. So just like, let it flow. So ego can rest, finally rest, so that the solution comes, right? You're identifying the best mental approach. I think that's the best mental approach, is actually to take with your ego and defenses moving forward. So I'm going to remind myself again, today is the day for me to surrender extra hard. What I need to commit, because I'm a very commitment. I'm committed in nature, but what I commit is important. Okay, what am I committing to? committing to my self-love, committing to bringing peace, committing to bringing and receiving love. And that's what I need to focus on. I don't need to go like this anymore, especially in this Libra season, step 0 to step 9. We are all learning to call back our power. Because when you are in alignment here, everything falls into place. So make certain your heart believes in the new ideas and you feel them to be true. You will come to understand how your thinking can sabotage your life in the long run. So thinking is very tricky, right? Ego trying to protect us all the time and thinking all the scenario. And that's why, I think day today is step 5. I think day is a Gemini energy. It's what you are thinking is important. Open your mind to a different approach to how you talk to yourself. Come up with a new attitude you can use with yourself in the long term. So what is that best approach? What is a new attitude we can use to show up for yourself? How you think of yourself, how you talk to yourself, all of that, right? Your goal today is to watch your thoughts and self-dialogue. Watch your thought. That's what you need to commit. Come up with and determine the way you belong speaking to yourself. So where you belong, you don't belong to anything outside of yourself. You belong to yourself so that everything else that meant to belong to you will come back, will stay. Step 5, I receive is one of the best days of the entire year to talk about yourself or your problems with someone else. The very act of articulating your issues will help you to crystallize and deepen your understanding. Yeah, at the end of it, everything is frequency, and when the things get materialized, it started to get the vibration of the energy ball started to, okay, you come here, you go over there, and it started to get crystallized, right? And then we're the crystal being. We are this liquid crystal being. That's Fascia is. Getting things off your chest also brings emotional relief. Hearing another person understand your point of view brings a feeling of self-acceptance. Just be sure to speak from the heart so the mind is a useful tool instead of just a tool. May you find poetic reason. I am mindful the way I speak to myself. But also, food to talk to is simply important. I don't really talk to my problems to other people anymore. Going back to the time where I used to book healing session all the time. Whenever before a healing session, I used to talk to my mother about all the problems and then cry, and then she used to think it's releasing ceremony, to get the tears out, and that was very beautiful. But at the same time, no one's perfect. The person you're talking to also have their own trauma, right? So, discernment, especially when you are in a vulnerable state and open, discernment is super important. So right now I'm not going out and talk to my problems to every single one people outside, but I feel like the answers are within. So I'm talking to myself, and that's for my way of, talking to myself right now, my way of, releasing and opening up my throat chakra. I think that's very, very effective for me. Yeah. So going back to the card that I picked, I tapped 5 times to pick this card, popped out. Keep your thoughts positive. It's up to you to think happy and be happy. So keep your thoughts positive. Where your thoughts go, energy flows. Living an enlightened life comes with a positive price. With practice, you are able to consciously control your thoughts, and you have the power to choose positively over self-defeating or criticizing thoughts. Your internal dialogue reflects in your attitude, outlook on life, and can even affect your health and well-being. The good news is that your brain can only focus on one thing at a time, so you can retain your brain to find the positive in each moment by asking what good can come from this. Don't be a drama queen or overreact. Find the solution and move forward. Light up and laugh at yourself more. Be playful and find the fun in life as if you are a kid again. Challenge yourself to only speak positively for the next 24 hours. Turn I can into I can, or I don't like into I don't like something something into I prefer. Look for the possibilities and choose to see the glass half full, because happiness is a choice. I choose to be happy and plan to keep my thought positive today. Always things are happening for us, and without even knowing it. Maybe we are where we are because of the intention that we put a couple months ago. It's here, right here. And pretty card. Yes, yeah, they're all cards are so pretty. And then, yeah, I love tapping number of the day. Yes, see you Monday, bye Lee. And I think it's, we're again, whatever happening, and you can let that tears flow, but we're exactly where we need to be, as always. And today's learning, every day is a day, offers some lesson to learn. I'm learning to find harmony within, and I'm also using like some visual coming back to my heart. I love myself. That's why everything falls into place. I love myself. That's why everything I desire falls into place. I love myself, so what I want comes to me. So it's like that. It's like that. It's like that. And Taurus feel whenever like that self-sabotage thought comes, it's like acknowledge them without judging them and create the harmony. Maybe you dance a little. Maybe that's what we need to work on. That's what I'm going to work on. So thank you guys for being here. I think it's time for me to go, but I love that weather is so much nicer today. Definitely lifts up my mood, and I think the Libra season this year is definitely a very transformational season for us, because I started to believe that Age of Aquarius just started on the first day of Libra, and here we are on a different timeline. So just keep on going, and we're in the state of just surrendering. We are here, and just keep finding the harmony every moment, and we are all everything where we need to be, and everything is always working out. So that's where I love to live. Yeah, be on the right side of your heart and examine all millions of thoughts coming in the day today. Today is a Gemini day. We are a lot of us in our head. So without judging them, without pushing that particular agenda, just open to infinite possibilities. Anything is possible when you come back to your love, and intuition comes from our heart. So don't listen to your feelings necessarily. Listen to your feelings, but don't act on it, right? Examine, use your discernment. But the voice from the heart is always soft and subtle. And yeah, exactly. Thank you, Mary. Forgive yourself too. So many things to remind ourselves. This is the practice, right? When you first started to do dance, and then like there's so many things to consider. Okay, right hand is doing this, my left hand, and then my head. So we're learning to multitask and remember, but it's a practice. It's a joyful practice, because every time we practice, we get better and better and better. And don't dwell on the mistakes. We did our best, and we are here. And know that we can even transmute our past. We can even transmute our future, because this is a paradigm shift. This is here. We're flowing like water as usual. Love ourselves, forgive ourselves, and show so much gratitude. Thank you. You're doing so well every single day. So let's be the best friend, best cheerleader for ourselves. Observe your thoughts and pick the thought that finds you heart. Yeah, inner peace. Okay, bye everyone. Have a great weekend, and let's share what we have learned. And always keep that thought positive, right? But dance with your emotions and listen to your heart. Okay, bye.